All right, folks, welcome back to the channel. You found us here at KGB Customs, home of what we believe is some of the best custom gun content on the web. We share these custom guns in hopes of sharing some knowledge and to catalog some of the great pieces that come through our shop. Thanks for joining us. If you guys aren't already, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel. If you don't want to subscribe to the channel, I still appreciate you watching. If you really like the things we present here, I encourage you to jump down to the link in the description and jump on our email list. It's not an email list that's going to badger you much, usually about 2 emails a week, depending on the inflow and outflow around here. Today we've got a neat kind of Johnny Cash special, one piece at a time, custom here, built in 3 phases by 2 great shops. This Colt Mark IV 70 series reissue. So this would have been a Colt custom shop reissue of the Series 70 pistol in the early 2000s. These are great base guns, this one being a stainless. These were the first all stainless 70 series guns, I believe. I should take a look at the Silver Star, though. The Silver Star was Colt's first stainless 1911, but I don't recall if those were 70 series or 80 series. Nonetheless, these were the first Mark IV 70 series stainless steel Colts. Desirable base gun in and of itself. They build out great, and they're really good shooters right out of the box, generally speaking. This one, we'll start with the first Novak's invoice. This one went to Novak's in November of 2017. Novak's fit a cart match barrel to it. Neat thing about this is cart made these barrels for Novak's. I've seen several Novak's with them in, and other builders too. I think cart just offered them for a while. They are the 45 auto marked with an NM7791414 number on there. They're, of course, marked cart on the lower legs, but I don't know that these were any different spec than cart's normal match barrels, or if cart was making these true to the original GI National Match Barrel prints. I'd have to contact one of the boys down at cart to verify that. Nonetheless, they're a match barrel, and I know Novak's used quite a few of them. So they fit the match barrel, they cut a fresh crown on it, the gun got a reliability tune, and that was it at that trip in November of 2017. Then about 6 months later, the gun went on to Jim Garthwaite's shop. I'm not sure why we pivoted shops here, other than maybe some of the work that Garthwaite did, Novak's didn't do. The one thing that comes to mind is the serrating the front strap. I don't know that I've ever seen a Novak's built pistol with a serrated front strap. I know Pete Single did a lot of their checkering in the 90s and 2000s, and today I don't. I'm sure that there's one out there. I'm sure they exist, but in 2018, 2017, perhaps Novak's didn't offer that. So this gun went to Jim Garthwaite's shop. The front strap was serrated 25 LPI. That's nice, sharply done work. The front sight was replaced with a Novak's tritium white outline sight. The rear sight was replaced with this retro unit from Harrison. EGW heavy-duty firing pin stop was installed. He fit a Wilson extractor. Lower and configure the port. So he lowered the ejection port. No flare on this. Again, that kind of lends to the retro vibe of this gun. This gun, was meant to look a certain way, and a flared port kind of crushes that. It's also kind of unnecessary at the end of the day if everything else is tuned properly. It's a bit of a superfluous modification. He also fit and installed a Harrison mag catch, so it's got a slightly extended mag catch, still a serrated unit, again sticking with that retro vibe. He installed a Wilson ejector. He fit a number of magazines. Trying to read his handwriting here. He fit the supplied slide stop, so we've got a Colt style EGW slide stop there. Deburr and radius soften all sharp edges. The gun has a nice carry bevel. It still maintains the lines. The front of the nose of the slide's really nicely softened. These teeth down here that'll cut you are nicely softened. This is all nicely blended down here. Then he hand polished the flats and refinished the gun. Test fired. We've got a test target here from Jim. Let's grab that out here. So we've got a really nice test target here from 25 yards with Federal 230 grain ball. You can see the gun's right on the money there. I'm sure that could use a little drift to the left on that rear sight, but Jim tested her out and she shot well. Also refit supplied thumb safety. So that would be this, I believe it's a Nighthawk unit here, a thumb safety. And then the gun goes another 6 months, roughly 3 or 4 months after they got it back from Garthwaite. And then it goes back to Novak's. Again, I don't understand this, but I do know that customers oftentimes will come to me and want to do it one piece at a time. You know, they'll want to do sights and safeties one trip and then a barrel later, and then maybe down the road refinish it, etc. And I generally dissuade them from that. Nonetheless, it's not uncommon to be asked. Fit supplied grip safety. So what we have here is this is an EGW pocketless grip safety that George Smith made for a while. So it doesn't have a hammer pocket that the normal rowel or ring hammer would go down into. So you can chop them off sort of like a Hogue beaver tail grip safety there. You'll notice the pad remains on this. EGW made them that way. And refinish the stainless frame in bead blast. So the last shop to handle it, Novak's, fit the beaver tail and refinish the frame. And that's the sum total of the work. It's a nice retro gun. 2 great shops. I don't have the whole history on it to know why it was done in 3 phases. It could have been a money thing. It could have been, it could have just been that Novak's didn't want to do the serration work and stuff, so he sent some of that work to Garthwaite in the middle there. Nonetheless, a really, really well put together carry gun, a really, really nice retro styled gun. The guy I got this from tells me these are Ken Hackathorn design Spiegel grips, which are somewhere between a thin grip and a standard grip. They're not marked, so the validity of that is what it is, but they're very nice grips, very nicely checkered. And you can't deny this shape at the top of this one being very reminiscent of Spiegel's grips. Overall, a handsome build, and one, I wouldn't feel the least bit shortchanged throwing that gun in the leather and carrying it just the way it is. A nice job was done here with this grip safety too. I fit a couple of these grip safeties, and they can kind of be a bear to get this back edge not sharp and still have hammer clearance and everything else. I believe Matt did this over at Novak's when it went there, and it's a very nice job. I hope you guys enjoyed the gun. Little interesting combo type build. Again, I don't have all the history on it, but I imagine it had something to do with Novak's not being willing to do 1 or 2 things that the customer wanted done, and maybe also just a budgetary thing for him spreading it out in 3 different invoices. Nonetheless, a neat gun, and one anyone would enjoy to have. I hope you guys liked the video, and thanks for tuning in.